What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about OP-13 and specifically the OP-13 release event. Now, some of you might be looking at this going, hang on a second, haven't we had a little bit of a chat about the OP-13 release event? And the answer is we have and we haven't. Some advanced information was given a little while ago. We haven't sat down and really gone through everything fully on this channel, and I have not done what I love to do, where I tell you which are the best cards you want to be pulling from your tournament pack. So that's what we are going to be doing here, having a look through, telling you everything you need to know, confirming all the information, and then telling you what you want to be pulling from your pack. Now, it is a release event for OP-13. It is not like your normal everyday run-of-the-mill release event. To put it bluntly, it's better. It's better than normal. Now, it is starting on the 31st of October and going on till the 20th of November. So we got a longer period than normal. These things usually last a week. Here we got a 3-week period from the last week, well, really first weekend in November, end of October, all the way through most of November, which is lovely. And because it is a third anniversary one, what we're doing here is, well, we're building up a bit. We're doing a better one than normal. So there isn't one pre-release promo here. There's 4, but I do think they're not all even. So, for instance, one of the things that is, you get 1 of 4 random cards in your pack. You don't get the pre-release promo, you get 1 of 4. So, one of them is the Basai Luffy. That is your all-color, all-type, all-name, works with literally any card Luffy. Best thing any card game has ever designed for any pre-release, because it's basically one leader, and it doesn't have any skills, but it interacts with every card. So any card you pull can be played with this leader. It's fantastic. And then the other 3 of those promos I've shown you before, your Luffy, your Ace, and your Sabo, and what they all have in common is that they are all drawn by a mangaka, a manga artist from another property. So my favourite of them is the Sabo, because it's drawn by the artist from The Promised Neverland, which is one of my favourite manga that I've read. I think it's absolutely stunning. And we talked about these promos a bunch in the past. We don't need to talk too much about them now. What you need to know is we get them with the 3rd anniversary stamp. Very important, because obviously the Japanese versions of these cards never had the stamp. Ours do. That's absolutely lovely. So when you pick up this participation pack, you either get yourself the Luffy, as in the leader, or you get yourself one of the alternate arts drawn by the manga artists. And the Luffy does have the stamp, which is cool. They all have the stamp. But I do feel like that Basai Luffy, I love the artwork, I love Basai's artwork, I've told you that before. It does feel a little less special than the others, I'ma be honest with you. Okay. You also get yourself a 3rd anniversary tournament pack, and what you do here is you get yourself a 2-card pack, and you get 2 random cards from OP-13, and when I say random cards, I mean they can be any cards at all, as long as they are common or uncommon. You're not getting rares, you're not getting super rares, you're getting commons and uncommons. And in a minute, we'll have a chat about which of these are actually seeing play and which of these you may actually wish to be pulling from your pack, which ones you should be looking out for and all of that, like we normally do. Okay, cool. What happens if you win? Well, wonderful news. You get 3 cards, but it is the stamped version, the stamped winner version of all 3 of these cards drawn by other manga artists, which I absolutely adore. I love that you get all 3 of them. There is not a winner stamped version of the Luffy leader. You just get the winner stamped versions of the others, but it is confirmed now that you do get all 3 of them for winning, which is lovely. It's a really nice little prize. Plus, of course, they're not just stamped versions. If we put the two Sabo side by side, it's not just the stamp that's different. You'll notice there's, foiling on the details there. Your 6,000 power, your special, your character, your traits, your name, and all of that is all actually gold foil detailed as well, which is lovely. Kind of want to get to a pre-release and win one of these because I would be delighted because these cards are amazing. So real big fan of these. Love that you get the full set. So for participation, you get your pack with one of the 4 cards, and then you get your pack with the 2 stamped pre-release cards. And then for winning, you get all 3 of the cards with your gold stamp. Job's a good 'un. Question is, are there any of these cards that you particularly want to get in your pack? Although I should be super clear as we start here, all I can do is tell you what deck lists in Japan are looking like for these decks right now. I cannot tell you what we're doing in terms of, what's going to happen in the future. All I can do is tell you what's going now. But if we, for instance, have a look at the Imu deck, well, that is a deck made almost entirely out of new cards. So the answer is, yeah. There are a couple in here which are making their way in, and that's honestly kind of lovely. So St. Charlia, for instance, that is an uncommon card. It's your generic searcher. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, find a Celestial Dragon. Well, yeah, that is going to see play. It's going to be a 4 of in like every Imu deck, and it's an uncommon. You are going to want that. Similarly, saying Yozgard, or however it's pronounced, counter plus 2k. Now, it's also on play if you've got 3 or fewer life, play up to 1 stage for cost 1 and Mary Jo's from your trash, which is not terrible, but mostly it's just a searchable 2k. And you know what? That's actually really very good. And then we've got the world's equilibrium cannot be maintained forever, or something along those lines. We've not got the official English translation yet. But that is a 1-cost event card that lets you rest 5 of your Don, and if you've only got Celestial Dragon on your board, KO an original cost 6 or lower of your opponents, or as a counter just a 3k bump. And then we've also got Originally It Wasn't There, which is an uncommon event card, which is lovely. So that lets you rest, one of your Don, and if your leader's Imu, then you get to get rid of a cost 7 stage card, exactly cost 7. And as a counter, if your leader is Imu, you get a 4k bump. And also the Empty Throne. That cost 7 stage card, the one that you may well want to start the game with, is also, that's right, there's a bunch of them, also a common card. If you've got 19 or more cards in your trash, your leader gets an extra 1,000 power. And as an activate main, you can rest this and 3 of your Don, and play a black 5 Elder Stars character that has a cost equal to or less than the total number of Don cards on your field. You see where I'm going with this. Really good stadium. May well be the one you choose to put into play at the beginning of your game with Imu, and it's just kind of awesome. There are a bunch in that Imu deck that you're going to want to be picking up, and that's lovely. The other best new deck that we're seeing in the set is Ace, but unfortunately that doesn't actually really play any new commons and uncommons. A couple of new cards, but I'm afraid they're rare or above. But Goldie Roger is a decent little new deck from the set, seeing a bunch of play. And there are a couple sneaking in here as well. The Douglas Bullet, that if you've got 8 or more Don on your field, gains 2k. And on play, if your leader's Roger Pirates, you add a Don from your Don card rested. That's an OP-13 common that you may want to be popping into your deck. That one's going to work. I'm afraid that is about it, though. Nah, only joking. We've also got the event, Let's Give It a Go and Kill Each Other If We're Still Alive. As a main, you rest 1 of your Don. If your leader's Roger and you've got a Don attached, add a Don card from your Don deck rested. And as a counter, 3k bump. So only really the 2 of those cards, I'm afraid. There are a bunch of other new ones, but I'm afraid they are all rare or above. You have my apologies. Now, Luffy is another one which I'm afraid is a little bit sad, because there's just a lot of new cards not seeing a huge amount of play, and the new cards that are in there, unfortunately, do tend to be slightly higher rarity. Like the Garpsies play in this and in Ace, but unfortunately it's a rare card, so it's not something that can be pulled out of here. Luffy's not really playing any commons or uncommons from this set. I'm sorry. Speaking of which, Sabo also plays that new Monkey the Garp, but unfortunately, like I've said, that is a rare card, so it's not one we can be relying on here. Again, you have my apologies. Sabo being another deck that does play some new cards from OP-13, not a huge amount, and the ones that are there tend to be rare or above. Once again, you have my apologies. Which just leaves us with Bonnie here. Are there any uncommons or commons from the set which are seeing play in Bonnie? Yeah. Edison. Edison is an uncommon. You got counter plus 2k. And activate main, trash this character if your life is equal to or lower than your opponent's, draw a card, and then rest an opponent's character with a cost of 3 or less. And as a trigger, draw one and put one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less rested. So that's an uncommon from this set, which is seeing a bunch of play in this deck, which is awesome. It is, I'm afraid, the only one seeing regular significant play. Sorry about that. But hey, it's making it in there, and that's at least cool. So there we go. There's an idea of some of the cards, the commons and uncommons, that are seeing play in these new decks. I've told you about them all now. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this OP-13 release event. Do you like it when Bandai goes a little bit extra like they are with this one? Tell me all of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.